Hey guys, Don here. Welcome to Podiatry Practice Mastery. I'm sharing my screen here. I have to do this lecture coming up, so I thought it'd be fun to give it to everyone before I give it. So this is not in slide format. This is something I use called Notion. I just find it easier to kind of lay out my ideas here. So the idea of this is how to use artificial intelligence or AI and automation to increase online reviews. So the purpose is to get tons of online reviews, more than anyone else in your community, to build credibility and authority, and also to use online reviews in marketing. And then finally, use AI and automation to make this process easier and not using staff or making it dependent on me, which doesn't really work if you're depending on a doctor or someone else like that to do this work. So where do you request reviews? This is a good question. Do you do Google? Do you do Yelp, Health Grades, LinkedIn, Facebook? In my opinion, I think number one is going to be your Google review page or where you're reviewing for your clinic. So in my opinion, that is the number one location that you're going to be doing that. Okay, would be doing it that way through Google. Yelp, these other things are not that important. So for example, if you have an option of where you're going to send patients to do reviews, you're going to send it mostly to your Google review page. If you don't know how to do that, that's a little bit beyond this, but you can put it in Google, how to get direct access to your review page. So it should be just one link, and it actually goes to Google Maps and then to your actual profile. Now, what you have to realize, there's different profiles. So we have office profiles for our office in Westboro and Worcester. We also have individual doctor profiles. So Dr. Pelto in Worcester and Westboro. And so we have all this we're trying to you really want to just take up all the real estate that there is on Google. And that's the purpose of having those. You're kind of competing with yourself with it. Okay. So how do you ways to ask for online reviews? Um, ask patients to give you an online review in your newsletter. So when you send out a newsletter, I recommend doing that either periodically or I do it weekly. You can ask for people to give reviews. A QR code in the back of the door in a treatment room. So while patients have time, if they're waiting, they can do a Google review while they're there. So patients, before they leave, they can just scan it and they can leave a review on Google. QR codes at the checkout. Sometimes people use like a QR code. Some people use it on a business card. I find it's easier if you can do it right away. Do it with the patient in the treatment room. Do it while they're in your office. Just a lot easier. An ethical bribe or a free token of appreciation. So if they do a review, you could give them a free water bottle or a free pair of socks or something, or each month, however many people do reviews, you could have a review or a lottery for giving some type of a free gift or something like that. So I think that's a good option as well. Okay. Um, so via text, so there's something called Weave, which is a kind of a phone system. They can send out texts, send out to the patient after the appointment. This is an example of mine. So I'm going to show you kind of mine, not as it's the only way to do it, but this is kind of what's working for me. I have a page, drpelto.com. So it could be your site, and I have a reviews page. So this is my review page. Thank you for being my patient. Today, many patients come into the office due to online reviews, which is the truth. And the more I have, the more I can help people like you. Can I ask you a favor? Click the link below and share your experience. If you don't know what to write, here are some tips. You can see my tips. And then you could click Google review. This is a video review. This didn't work that well. This kind of bombed for me. I haven't really had any that I've done video reviews this way. And then also underneath here, you're going to see I have reviews that are automated. This is something we're going to get into a little bit. This is called Elf Sign. It's a website. It's something that you put in here. It pulls in my reviews so they can see other examples of reviews. So they kind of see an example. Okay. So that is one way of doing it. Make a review page and then put the reviews underneath it. Okay. This will be a PowerPoint. That's why I put it in the slide. This will be in my slide deck. More than asking people manually, in my opinion, the best way is to automate the way you request reviews. Automatic ways, this is the preferred method. Why? Because it's not dependent on me or my staff. So we get busy, we forget, we have a million and one other things to do. And it's linked to something that you already do. What are the two things that you can link it to? You can link it when an encounter is closed, or you can link it to when you send out patient education information. The best way, I think, is when the encounter is closed. So there's something called swell, which is a way that when your EMR closes it, it automatically sends them out a text message or an email at a certain time, like let's say 6 to 7 o'clock that night. Hey, how did we do? Give us a review online. Patient Pop is something similar. If they make a review through their online thing through your medical, like, so Patient Pop, basically they make a review, they make an appointment via your website. And when they do that, they automatically, when that appointment's done, they'll get something asking how they did. Now, the interesting thing about Patient Pop is if it's they had a good experience, it'll send it to give a review. If it's a poor experience, they will send it to the office manager. And so they kind of filter them out a little bit more so than Swell. I think that's kind of illegal, but I'm just kind of letting you know that's the way it works with Patient Pop. And you can also do it when patients get patient education information. This is the one I do. It's called Patient Education Genius. So with that, I send out patient education information, and then there's also a link, a kind of a chat bot that pops up, say, hey, did you have a good experience? Would you give a review to Dr. Pelto? And it has that link to Google. And also, finally, it links, this isn't automated, but kind of automated. When a patient says, how can I thank you? Or I'm really pleased, or I love your staff. I always say, well, thank you so much. The best way to say thanks is to give us an online review and sending other nice patients like yourself. So having this type of wording for you and your staff is really easy to do. That's kind of an automated way of, okay, good compliment, do that. Let's go in here. Why do we use online reviews? Well, it took work to get them, so you should use them versus just having them sit there on Google. It helps build trust. It helps build your search engine optimization. It's a way of repurposing to assist in your practice. And what someone else says is infinitely more credible than talking to you. So for example, with my practice, if someone says something about me or about my shockwave or even about practice mastery, it's infinitely more believable than Don saying about Don. Right. So for example, I recently asked some other doctors I did a couple of coaching sessions for reviews, because I did a coaching session and I say, hey, how did I do? And they gave these glowing reviews. So I could use these either on the website or the other things that I'm going to talk about. So how do you use the online reviews? Let me give you some examples. Put them on your doctor's pages. So on our doctor's pages, you can put the reviews there. And I'm going to show you specifically, actually, I'm going to show you right now how to do it. So here's the doctor's page, what our patients say. And then this is like an advanced tip, is you take a portion of that and you make it as the header. So he's the best in podiatry. So this is the review. I took and put it in quotes, that, then put the review, then put the patient's name, first name and last initial. I tend not to put the whole last name. Okay. This is what I do under the doctor's pages. On your main page, oh, and also, so doctor pages, you're going to put stuff about Dr. Feldman, Dr. Feldman, Dr. Feldman. On the main page, you can put either all the doctors dispersed or just a general one for the practice itself or the staff. You can put those quotes in your newsletter. So when you do a newsletter, you can have a little portion of like what people say about us. That's awesome. You can post them on social media, kind of clip them and put them in social media the same way as the doctor's page. And then you can add them to, if you do a welcome packet, which I recommend is called like a shock and awe package. You can include that in there as well, what patients are saying, and then Google reviews. And then I just copied and pasted them into that document. You can add them to your appointment scheduling page to build confidence. So when patients go to make an appointment, you're going to see a lot of reviews on there. You can add them to your locations page, pretty much add them to every page. But the most important tip that I didn't know of is you add a title to your review. So in the past, what I used to do is just see the review with the patient's name, or you put the patient's name up here and then the review. But the key is to do like a headline for your review. I think that's like the $1 million tip of this review stuff. There are some AI uses of reviews. So AI, you can do an aggregator of online reviews on multiple platforms. So there's some called GatherUp or BirdEye or ElfSite, which is the one that I use. And it takes them and it creates an AI generated summary on all the reviews, like all the 1,400 reviews. It makes kind of a summary of them. I thought that was kind of a neat idea, and it kind of builds credibility. So I'm going to switch from written reviews to giving video testimonials or video reviews. This is a little bit more of an advanced topic, and I want to be clear. Asking for reviews has really helped our practice. It's automated. So it's automated. I've asked some people for them, But what really works well is when they leave, they get this review thing, and that's how we get the thousands of reviews. We wouldn't get that otherwise. Okay, that's the main thing, is just automate it and then use them. So that's the two main takeaways from the first section. The second section about videos took me a long time to do. Basically because I was hesitant to do it. I was thinking of like all these high-tech ways of doing it. Oh, I'm going to send them a link and they're going to do it at home on their own. In my opinion, none of that really works. You have to record them when they're in the office. Okay. So when they're in the office, you record them. If they're not willing to do a video one, you say you can tell their story and just show their foot. So I've done that as well. So I'll tell their story and I'll show their foot and not show them. I'll maybe show before and after x-rays and share their story. So those are ways of doing it. If they're willing to do the video, it's really easy. Here's some tips here to do videos. So make sure you get their consent. So we do written consent for these things. And so if you want that, just send me an email. Get them about the largest check items. So if you don't want to do routine care, don't get video testimonials about routine care, right? For me, I want them about AFOs, orthotics, shockwave, amnio, Swift, and different procedures. Use your cell phone or iPad or tablet to record them. Prompting questions. So make it a conversation. Tell me about how you were and how you are now regarding your heel pain, for example. What was your experience like? How has your condition improved? And then you can specifically get things like, for example, a lot of times they're talking about how great my staff are. So I'll have a little video and I'll put that on the main page about how great the staff are, or I'll get one about another aspect of the practice. So for example, there's a lot of objections to Swift or to Shockwave. So I'll get one specifically about that. Oh, hey, I heard, Swift is painful. Tell me about that. Or I heard you could just as easily do it with Cantharidin. Tell me about that. So you can get specific objection questions, and then kind of in advanced modalities, you put them on that page of the website. Okay, you put that because you're answering the objections with those little videos. Okay, I personally prefer YouTube Shorts. I think it's the easiest way. I have YouTube on my phone. I can do a little 1-minute short. I don't do much editing just because I don't have time to do that. If you have like a marketing manager, you can have them do editing. I just do quick ones. For longer ones, you can share the patient journey. Okay, I think that's an easy way, such as with Swift. There's this cool website called Bonjoro, Bonjoro. You might like that. You can do online reviews, either written or video, and you can do many for free. I think you can do a certain number for free on their website. And then finally, how do you use the videos? Place them on the web page, longer and shorts, in a section you want to get reviews about, where you got the review. So for example, about Shockwave or about EPAT or about orthotics, I'll put a review on there. The doctor's page, if you get a review about you can put that on the doctor's page about the clinic. Send out the videos in the newsletter, send out them in social media, and then send them out also in your email welcome sequence. So if you have a sequence of emails that they come out when they're an appointment, when they make an appointment, or when they get your newsletter, like one of those could be a number of video reviews to build confidence. If you have other things that work for you in terms of this, I'd like to know. That's why I'm putting this together. I'm going to be doing this lecture. So if there's other things that you guys do that I don't know about, or that I'm not including in here, if you could please let me know, okay? And then I will include yours in here as well. Okay, thanks.